Rudy is a movie that follows the life of Rudy Rudiger, who has dreams of playing football for Notre Dame. No one in his family has ever attended college, and they all laugh when Rudy talks of his dreams. When Rudy graduates high school, he doesn't have very good grades, and he knows that he won't be accepted into a school. After a few years of working at a steel mill with his father, Rudy has finally saved up enough to pursue his goals. While he faces many obstacles along the way, eventually Rudy does achieve his dream of playing Notre Dame football and is carried off the field by his teammates. Rudy is a movie that shows that you don't have to be in a position of authority to be seen as a leader. While we didn't discuss the types of leadership power in this class, I have in many of my previous ALET courses, and it can definitely be seen that Rudy has referent power over his peers. QuickBase.com states that referent power comes from being trusted and respected. We can gain referent power when others trust what we do and respect us for how we handle situations. Rudy's teammates respected him because of his positive attitude and the effort he put into making his dreams come true. While Rudy wasn't a supervisor, which is the premise of this class, I think he displayed many similar characteristics and skills that supervisors can utilize. The leader is characterized by a strong drive for responsibility and task completion, vigor and persistence in pursuit of goals, venturesomeness and originality in problem solving, drive to exercise initiative in social situations, self confidence, and sense of personal identity, willingness to accept consequences of decision and actions, readiness to absorb interpersonal stress, willingness to tolerate frustration and delay, ability to influence other person's behavior, and capacity to structure social interaction systems to purpose at hand. This paragraph from our book perfectly describes all of the characteristics that Rudy embodies, while never giving up on his goal of playing football at Notre Dame. Originality and problem solving. Rudy knew that he would never be accepted into college right after graduating high school with such poor grades. Rudy worked with his father for a number of years in order to save up the money that he would need to pay for school. Once he had the money saved, Rudy attended a smaller school for 2 years in order to boost his grades. After applying to Notre Dame 3 times and being rejected, the fourth time he applied, he finally got the letter that said he had been admitted. Initiative in social situations. Rudy needed assistance in a few classes and agreed to help his friend D-Bob meet a girl in exchange for tutoring. Rudy was very outgoing and had no problem approaching girls and introducing himself and D-Bob. Self-confidence and personal identity. Rudy knew that he wasn't the biggest or strongest football player, and because of this, he would have to put in extra work in order to be on the Notre Dame football team. Interpersonal stress. Rudy could have very easily given up on his dreams because so many people always told him he couldn't do it. It would have been easy to let these outside voices influence his inner voice. No matter how much he doubted himself, he was always able to overcome those doubts and push forward. Tolerate frustration and delay. Like I mentioned before, Rudy was rejected from the Notre Dame from Notre Dame 3 times, but he continued to reach for these goals. The same thing happened with the football team. He was only on the practice team no matter how hard he worked. Eventually, that hard work paid off with a little help from his teammates, and he was allowed to play in the final game of his senior year. Ability to influence others. Rudy inspired his teammates to work harder. They saw him get hit and beat up in practice day after day, but he always came back and continued working hard. His teammates wanted to help Rudy achieve his dreams, so they each told their coach that they wanted to sit out the last game and Rudy could take their place. Goal setting. Effective leaders set goals, both for themselves and for others in their organization. Using the acronym SMART allows you to fully develop your goal and ensure that you have thought through all aspects of the goal. In Rudy's case, it would look like this. Specific. Rudy wanted to play college football at Notre Dame. Measurable. Rudy wanted to play in a game for Notre Dame. Rudy knew he wouldn't be remembered as a member of the team if he did not dress for at least one game. Attainable. Rudy knew that it was a possibility for him to play college football, but that he would have to put in a lot of hard work. Relevant. Playing college football may not be relevant to the rest of his life, but it does mean that he's getting a college education, something that no one else in his family had done up to this point. Timely. Typically, you go to college right after high school, which Rudy did not stick to this aspect of his goal, but ultimately he was successful in achieving his goal by attending college later in life. Servant leadership. Rudy spent the large majority of his time on the practice team at Notre Dame. He was continuously tackled and hit by the starters of the team and often walked away from practice with bruises and sore muscles. The starters often wondered why he continued to come back to practice every day and give 100% effort. Rudy believed in servant leadership. He knew that by putting the others first, he would help create a better team. If he gave only 50% effort each day, the starters wouldn't be ready to play against the opposing teams each week. Servant leaders seek to help team members believe in a group's ability to accomplish tasks. Leading the team. Rudy helped his team develop a sense of cohesiveness before they saw themselves as starters versus a practice team. But with Rudy's attitude and motivation, they began to see that without the practice team, the starters wouldn't be successful. The team needed to build an identity for itself, something more than just being on a football team together. Rudy helped the team to develop friendships outside of the field, and Rudy's drive helped to challenge the team every day in practice, and he also challenged individuals to change their attitude. Rudy was and continues to be an inspiration to many people. He showed that no matter how many times you're told that you can't, that you can in fact go ahead and achieve your dreams. After Rudy graduated from college, many of his younger siblings followed in his footsteps and attended college as well. Just because you're not in a position of authority does not mean that you can't be a leader. The real Rudy said, "Focus on your dreams and never quit. It is always too soon to quit. If you quit, you can't succeed. By achieving your dream, you will be an inspiration to others. You will set the example and make an enormous impact on the world. Make it happen."